It's a pilot's worst nightmare, crashing into open water in a storm in the middle of the night. Disoriented, short of breath, barely able to see, a few seconds could mean life or death. Fortunately, this is just a training exercise.
Certainly more realistic than a normal pool.
This high-tech training pool has some special effects that could literally blow away these military pilots and search and rescue techs.
We get wave height about a meter. It's a very unorganized sea, so it's coming at you from all directions, which is pretty interesting. We have winds, 2 fans that blow 80 knots at the mouth. So by the time they reach the water level, they're 55, 60 knots. So that's pretty intense. It takes the tops right off the waves and throws them in your face kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. We have rain that falls from the ceiling. We have thunder. We have lightning. Full range of sound effects. Of course, we drop the lights down. We have in-water lighting, which gives it kind of an eerie effect. And yeah, it's pretty neat.
That weather is in the hands of Daryl McDonald.
I rely on the instructor inside the machine. He tells me what he'd like, whether it's low or medium or high waves or lots of rain or whatever the case may be. And once he tells me what he needs, I can control through here.
Daryl also operates what they call the dumper, a simulated Griffin helicopter cockpit. When it rolls, they have to find their way out of the copter, up to the surface, before they run out of breath. 2 safety divers keep a close eye at all times.
I ran out of oxygen looking for the thing, so a little bit of a nerve set in. I was wondering what was going on and trying to figure out what was going on. I was trying to get some air and it wasn't happening.
Rushing is a common rookie mistake.
The biggest mistake people make, probably moving too soon, trying to move too quickly, and not having physical reference. And I mean physical reference, i.e. something simple, your first point of contact, which will be the start of your egress procedures. So one of those is probably the biggest mistakes we see.
Andrew McKenzie is one of 2 SAR techs here. They're the guys that do some of the most dangerous rescue missions. Rob has a special twist for him.
The next run, we're getting one of the SARTAC search and rescue specialists out on the hook. So they're in the position of hoisting. So they're either going out or coming in, connected to the hook that's outside the aircraft that they would be lowered on or brought back in by. So this way, they're pretty much unprotected. They're going to be outside the aircraft to start with. When we roll, his job is to try and make his way back inside, deal with the water that's going to take him in and probably paste him to the ceiling.
Once we hit the water, my first thought was get inside the aircraft to get a reference point because I am connected. I didn't want to disconnect myself above the water and take the chance of the airplane landing on me. So I waited, and once we hit the water, took my breath, went inside the aircraft, waited for the roll to complete. And once the roll was completed, then I disconnected myself and hauled myself hand over hand towards the cable.
Rob's still not finished pushing their limits. Daryl turns up the volume on the weather.
So I'll turn this wind back up here.
And Rob turns up the pressure.
We're going to enter the water here into the deep end. Get together as a group of 5. One by one, we're going to move over to the net. Once we get to the top, wait for your turn to jump. We can jump from the 15-foot, we can jump from the 26-foot. Body position is still the same. Reach up and grab on your vest, your harness, your suit. Looking straight ahead, you take a step off, try and get your legs crossed, okay? So we're looking straight ahead when we take that step off. Keep your elbows tucked in.
The last exercise is also their hardest. The group has to ditch from the helicopter in the worst wind and waves yet, inflate a life raft, and climb aboard.
We're trying to bridge the gap here between, doing this training in a normal pool and actually ditching for real. So the closer we get to that realistic ditching scenario from a weather point of view, the better off they're going to respond.
It could mean the difference between drowning or not, but training for that entails a few bumps and bruises.
The initial rollover is very aggressive. It's a pretty dynamic movement, and some of the rolls you end up getting thrown around, and you're not getting out of there unscathed. You're getting pinned, you're getting thrown and bumped in head and arms and legs.
Exhausting, but worth it.
Better than Disneyland.